let's try this. I say try, not do, because I don't know if this is gonna work out. I don't know what my sound quality is gonna be like, what nature's going to do to me, but I am smack dab in the middle of the forest behind my house, and I just felt like this was the perfect setting for this video because hello and welcome. I'm Jade of Jaded Reader, and today I'm going to be talking about my fall favorites. Actually done a video like this before, branching outside of books to just talk about things I like, but I'm gonna give this a try because I just kept on finding different things I want to share with you all, and it doesn't always fit in to my vlogs. I figured I would do this and it would be fun, and if you didn't want to watch it, that's okay. In case you are coming here specifically for books and my bookish recommendations having to do with fall, I will have a book specific video having all fall books on my shelves displayed, but for now I'm just going to give you 4 in different genre categorizations based off of age group. So first, for bookish recommendations, I have Girl from the Other Side by Nagabe. This is a really quiet, atmospheric manga that follows a girl who is being taken care of by some sort of demonic monster creature who seems to have a heart of gold. If he touches anyone, they will also turn into some sort of beast. So he's very careful not to touch her, while also making sure that she is cared for, as she was left by her aunt in the middle of the forest and she is now awaiting her aunt's return. This just felt so dark and atmospheric while also being whimsical and lovely. I absolutely recommend it for fall, whether you're having a quiet rainy evening or want some of those spooky vibes. I get both from this, so this is my manga recommendation. For middle grade, I have Eva Evergreen, The Semi-Magical Witch. This is by Julie Abe, and this is my advanced reader's copy. It did come out in August, so this is newly released, and I highly recommend reading it. It follows a girl named Eva who is semi-magical in a world filled with witches. Her powers are very, very slight, and she's really nervous that she's not going to be able to apprentice as a witch. This follows her journey, how her witchcraft can be used despite it not being the most powerful, and I really loved the themes and storyline in this. It had so many cute characters, as well as giving me, of course, Kiki Delivery Service vibes, and I highly recommend it, of course, for the fall season, as she's a magical witch dealing with magical academics. Then for my young adult novel, I had to do this. I had so many fantastic young adult novels that could have fit into this category, but if I get one person on this that doesn't follow BookTube, I need to recommend you this book. So I am picking up a favorite, which is the Raven Cycle series, specifically the first in the series, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Oh wow, are you in for a treat if you have never heard of this and are deciding to pick it up. This follows Blue Sergeant, who is growing up in a home of psychics. Though her own power is that of like psychic empowerment, she makes other psychics or other magics more powerful. Blue Sergeant definitely holds her own in the house alongside the Raven Boys, which encompasses Gansey, the leader of the group, Ronan, our edgy bad boy with a heart of gold, Adam Parrish, who is going to a prep school on a scholarship and is dealing with a lot of problems at home, and Noah, who is not easily explained whatsoever. I'll simply call him melancholy and interesting and leave you off there. This book is essentially about friendship and character dynamics and how all of these people come together despite being so vastly different. They're also following the lead on a dead Welsh king that they believe to be buried in West Virginia. The Raven Boys is known for its atmospheric writing style, its personality, and its look at human behavior. I just love everything about this book. It's one of my absolute favorites, and it's a quartet that also has a 5th installment in a spin-off series that follows one of the other main characters. So I just highly recommend that you take the time to explore it, and definitely read it like a slow sip of wine, not caring about the destination, but instead the journey. And then finally, for my adult novel that I feel is perfect for fall, I have what I believe to be a dark academia book, though it's not all taking place at school. There is definitely just dark academic vibes in this book, and that is Middle Game by Shauna Maguire. Shauna Maguire definitely knows how to create unsettling atmosphere with really likable characters. And in this, you're following twins Roger and Dodger, who have grown up separate and apart with a lot of mysteries behind them. They have some sort of telepathic connection where one can speak to the other, but that is not normal in this society, and so it's hidden, it's sought after, and by the end of it you find out what this story is all about, and it just slowly unravels itself in a really beautiful way. I do want to set a reminder that this is indeed indeed an adult novel. There are adult themes in it. These are adult characters having adult problems and have adult conversations. I really enjoyed the mystery unfolding in this and was very jarred by many moments in it, but I do recommend it for those dark academics out there who are looking for a somewhat pretentious couple of characters who really do make for an excellent story. All right, that's it for the books. Now moving on to TV shows, because apart from reading, I do actually watch things, like lots of things, but I do have some fall specific vibes that I think definitely deserve attention. The first I'm going to bring up is Blood and Water. This is a newer series that just came out and had a really short season. A lot happened in those, like, what, 7, 8 episodes? We are following our main character Pulang, who right off the bat at the beginning of the episode has a very intriguing family dynamic. She has grown up and year after year has to celebrate her sister's birthday, which in itself is not odd, except for her sister has been missing since before she was born, and it has been an ongoing mystery as to where she went. I obviously don't want to give too much of this plot away. Oh, that was a cute bird. I just want to give you the basis idea. It takes place at a South African boarding school where you get a lot of different high school dynamics and high school dramas, but a much larger scale problem having to do with the parents and adults. So I would say that this is definitely meant for both young adult and adult audiences alike. There's plenty of drama, romance, and chilling moments to go around, so definitely check out Blood and Water, and that you can find on Netflix. Next up is another Netflix original, and that is A Series of Unfortunate Events. If you have read the books, because I am a booktuber, I have read the books. If you have read the books of A Series of Unfortunate Events and were disappointed by the movie adaptation, you no longer have to be disappointed. I absolutely loved this series. It follows the siblings Violet, Klaus, and Sunny Baudelaire and their journey through a horrible series of unfortunate events after the death of their parents in a huge fire. We don't know exactly how the fire was set, but I can tell you by the 3rd episode, your head will be reeling and you won't know what to do next except for to click on the next episode. This has Neil Patrick Harris as our Count Olaf, who is the chief villain of the story, and wow, did he do an amazing job. This cast is full of fantastic actors and actresses, and I was just so happy with everyone's performance and the eerie gothic way that it is portrayed. There's plenty of dark humor and funny moments, but there's also really deep undertones and conversations that I think could be easily enjoyed and consumed in a family room or by yourself at your own leisure. I have 2 animated shows that I absolutely enjoy because I love cartoons and animation. It's something I definitely never grew out of, if not more grew into, because I've always loved cartoons, but really grew to appreciate what all they are able to do as an adult. So yes, I am going to be recommending you some cartoons today, and I promise if you like fall vibes or really spooky moments, you're gonna enjoy these. First up, I have Over the Garden Wall. Wow, okay, Over the Garden Wall is probably one of my favorite cartoons or animated anything of all time. It is to be watched in the dead of autumn when you want to cozy up and just feel absolutely terrified and smitten all at the same time. You're following 2 brothers who have somehow stumbled from a cemetery into an alternate universe where everything is just a little bit off and a little bit wrong. They're trying to find their way back, and along the way they make what I wouldn't necessarily call friends, but unusual acquaintances. You will be both thrown off and over the moon for these characters, for this plot line, and all their witty banter and situations that they're tossed into, and I really recommend that you watch this one. It is located and easily consumed on Hulu over the course of October. Then finally, for another animated series that I think is perfect for fall, as well as just being a personal favorite of mine because it takes place in Oregon, I have Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls is best just explained as a whole bunch of antics taking place in boring Oregon, where you have every walking creature you can think of popping out of the forest and 2 siblings having to deal with all of the mayhem and hijinks that comes forward. You have a lot of different characters and it's done in a very episodic way. Really, you just pop it on while you do your homework, while you fold your laundry, or with your morning breakfast and a cozy cup of tea. I think Gravity Falls is really well known, but I haven't heard it being talked about for a while, so I'm bringing it back on your radar if you haven't happened to watch it. It's one that stands out. And then finally, for an honorable mention that I will not get into because I think it's very well known, is The Gilmore Girls. Yes, The Gilmore Girls takes place in Stars Hollow So they have entire seasons based off of the season, and you really can't go wrong with Rory and Lorelai and all of their quick banter and interesting family dynamics. It's heartwarming, it's kind, it's cozy. I watch it with my mom, and I absolutely just feel warm and fuzzy inside. And yes, if you for some reason have never stumbled into the Gilmore Girls, fall is a good time to try it. Movies, because I watch those too. For movies, I get a little bit darker and deeper. It was hard for me to find a nice display of movies because, I mean, I could be really specific and say I love horror films. That's my bread and butter. I could watch slasher movies and like scary paranormal, just weird crap all the time. It's part of why I'm so jumpy in this beautiful forest right now, is because I've been scarred by all of the terrifying, spooky movies I've watched. But instead, I'm going for more fall vibes and things that will give you the feelings of autumn without being Halloween specific. So bear with me here because of course there's millions of movies to watch during fall. The first I'm going to bring up is the Dead Poet Society. The Dead Poet Society follows a group of characters at a really stuffy boarding school where a new teacher walks in, played by Robin Williams. I adore Robin Williams. I miss him every single day, and this really is a beautiful standout performance by him. He walks in as the new teacher, and in much like Footloose, this movie's nothing like Footloose, I want to make that clear, but he walks in and really shakes things up, and on the sly is teaching his English class a little bit differently in the way of teaching them poetry. He has them opening up, displaying their feelings. There's a lot of push and challenging of toxic masculinity that I think is really great. So this film I would definitely put in the dark academia category, as well as being as heartwarming as it is heart-wrenching. I would like you to keep in mind that there are quite a few dark themes in this, and I don't watch movies the same way I consume books, so I won't have the same list of triggers that I normally would have. Instead, I will have Common Sense Media links down below for all of the movies listed so that you can make sure you are taking care of yourself if there's any content warnings that may apply to you. Next up is a more lighthearted autumnal film, and that is The Fantastic Mr. Fox. I'm just gonna go out and say that any Wes Anderson film that you watch, like Rushmore, Moonrise Kingdom, any Wes Anderson film is gonna give you at least a little bit of fall. He just has that quirky, atmospheric take to his movies that make them so easily consumed and enjoyed. But I'm gonna go with Fantastic Mr. Fox because wow, is that movie orange. You are following a family of foxes as well as a larger animal kingdom, and they are right outside of a farm that is going to be destroying part of their forest. There is also a missing foxtail and a lot of bad blood between both the farmer and the foxes. Oh my gosh, this movie is hilarious, and I know that they're trying, but it seems so effortlessly hilarious in its moments and odd takes with a stellar cast and really great conversations that are hidden under quirky moments. You really just can't go wrong with Fantastic Mr. Fox. The next two I have are definitely a bit more witchy in their nature. The first I have is, of course, Practical Magic. Practical Magic is a classic, so if you haven't watched it, just know it follows sisters who have grown up in a magical family but have avoided magic pretty much their entire lives. It's not until an abusive relationship and an unexpected death happens that the sisters find themselves taking a crash course class in their magic powers and are whipping up different ways to cover their tracks as well as keep their family safe. I absolutely adore this movie. I cannot wait to watch it again this fall. I've skipped it the last few seasons because I felt like I knew it too well, but as I give the summary, I already have some blank spots and I cannot wait to fill them with this classic film. It's witchy, it's wonderful, it has a lot to say, and I really like how it says it, so go ahead and give Practical Magic a shot, or if I've simply just reminded you of it, go ahead and rewatch it. After that, my final movie is actually Chocolat, which takes place during Lent, but has all of the autumnal vibes you would ever want in a movie. It has a mother and daughter who stumble into this town on Lent when nobody is supposed to be up to any sort of chocolatey fun, and she opens a chocolate shop. I absolutely love this book and how quietly it speaks up against a lot of really oppressive behavior that happens to both women and witchcraft, and it's done in just such a subtle and romantic way that I just can't help partaking of it. I highly recommend enjoying this movie in an evening, cozied up by a fire and some Abuelita hot chocolate, because the subtle spice of Abuelita hot chocolate alongside of this movie, just trust me, it's gonna be a moment and you're gonna remember it. And that is it for my movie recommendations. Up next is anime. First up on my anime recommendation list is Mushishi. Mushishi is an episodic anime where you can honestly just pick up any random episode and be blown away not only by its really subtle art style and quiet dialogue, but by the masterful way that the stories are told in a singular episode. We follow Ginkgo, who is a Mushi master, and Mushi are best described as, I guess, spirit entities, but they pretty much are just the embodiment of chaos in my mind, as they can possess people, they can make people forget things. There's so many things that a Mushi can do to you, and Ginkgo is fighting them all off. He's a Mushi master, which I guess is kind of a Japanese style Ghostbuster, and you'll just have a lot of fun while also being truly disturbed and at least a little creeped out most of the time while watching this. The next one I have is Spice and Wolf. This is a personal favorite anime of mine. Spice and Wolf has a lot of economics in it, so it might be interesting to you if you are interested in finances, economics, and like how the world works. You follow a merchant who stumbles into a village at the time of a pagan harvest festival celebrating the wolf god Holo. Somehow Holo ends up leaving along with him at the end of the festival, and it's a very slow-paced anime with a lot of really great conversation, and I just felt the sexual chemistry between these two characters. I absolutely adore Holo. I think she's fantastic, and it definitely has autumnal feels in its color design, in the festivals themselves, and of course Holo is a wolf that is also orange, so that's in there too. The next anime I have is very, very fall, and it's also meant to be savored over a long period of time, and much like fall, it's about transitions and really subtle stylized moments that you will definitely find in the House of Five Leaves. I can say this is the most different take on a samurai anime that I've ever come across, and while at first the art style and color scheme will seem too drab and melancholy to enjoy, if you just want something slow and relaxing, it's a very subtle anime that follows a samurai that has anxiety and a lot of self-doubt and self-deprecation, and that is unusual in a samurai as far as how they are depicted, so you'll get a different look at samurai life, and I think that it's also a somewhat more realistic look at samurai life instead of the romanticized version we often get in films and other media. My final anime is a fun favorite, and I really think you'll enjoy it. This is a slice of life anime that is also very episodic. I feel like it's more fun to watch it in order, but if you just hopped into an episode, I think you'd be sold. This is Laid Back Camp, and Laid Back Camp is one of those animes where it's a slice of life that's really sweet and adoring and is essentially about friendship. While you have several different girls involved in this ongoing camping trip where this club goes out and they go to different locations that actually exist in Japan. You can go camp at these camping spots in this anime, which I love. I will be having a video somewhere in my life where I do that. While the campouts are technically romanticized, I don't think that they are overdone. It just has such fall vibes to it. It's cozy, it's comfortable, it has lovely friendship dynamics, especially the two main characters. Whether they're camping together or apart, you sense a connection between them. I highly recommend this anime. I would also love more fall recommendations for anime. Anime is definitely one I like picking up seasonally, so I would love more fall recommendations for anime, and if you have them, please list them down below, because I'm always looking and I will need recommendations for next year, so introduce me to something new. Then we have music. I've been looking forward to music because music is part of what sparked this video in the first place. I don't know why I'm holding this leaf now, but it fits. I was talking about music in a past vlog, and I really realized that you guys don't know about my music taste, and I really like music. So let's talk about that. I'm not only going to give you artists, but albums specifically that I think bring in the fall spirit. First up, I have the album Psychic Reader by the Bad Bad Hats. I love the Bad Bad Hats. They are a small indie band. I have seen them in concert. I have enjoyed their music on long drives, and Psychic Reader specifically is perfect for fall. It has witchy vibes to it without really trying, and will get you in an upbeat mood with a melancholy undertone, much like fall itself. It has fantastic and thoughtful lyrics, and I really enjoy them. Next up is pretty much, I think, my all-time favorite band. It's the one that encapsulates me best, and I'm going to give you my favorite favorite album because it is also the most autumnal. This is How to Be a Human Being by Glass Animals. Oh, there's so many good songs on this album. Glass Animals is really good at giving different caricatures of people their own song. I honestly feel like I'm being described in season 1, episode 2. I just adore them and they had to make the list. They're great for those camping trips that you'll go on before the season is completely changed, on drives around your neighborhood and late nights just thinking about the world. The Glass Animals are there for you, and How to Be Human is just gonna take your breath away. If you are staying in and you'd like to sip some wine, have a nice evening, and listen to the raindrops outside, then you need to be listening to Leon Bridges and his album Good Things. Leon Bridges is fantastic. I absolutely love his music, and he is just perfect to listen to on a nice evening inside, possibly by the fire or while you read your favorite book, if you're able to read and listen to music at the same time. I'm not one of those people, but I know you're out there. I've seen you on Twitter. He is absolutely perfect to add to your fall atmosphere, and I hope you enjoy him. The last band I have is eBay, and eBay is a phenomenal duo band that has twins who are Afro-French and Cuban, and their self-titled will give you such eerie, wonderful vibes. Their voices are haunting and chilling while also being beautiful. It's like listening to the sounds of the freaking ocean in the middle of fall. I just need you to listen to this band and tell me what you think, because I am absolutely smitten and I need more people on board and talking about them. They also have a new album that just came out, which I haven't gotten to listen to in its entirety yet, but one of the songs features Kamasi Washington, which almost made this list because if you like jazz, he is perfect for fall, and if you are having a safely social distance party, then Kamasi Washington should also make this list because he will make the room so much more comfortable with his smooth jazz. And then finally on this list is a new find for me, and that is Agnes Obel, and specifically her album Citizens of Glass. It is such hauntingly beautiful music. I, for the most part, have no idea what she's saying, but I want to weep. She is so talented and so beautiful, and honestly, I'm gonna have to say the most atmospheric as far as fall goes on this list. She was made to be listened to in the peak nights of autumn. Give her a shot. You will know exactly what I mean, and I hope you enjoy. And then finally, I'm gonna wrap this up by giving you some fall activities that I really enjoy. First off, I'm gonna go with I like being outside in fall. The rain doesn't bother me. I love being chilled and I love wearing warm fuzzy sweaters. Right now it's super warm out, which is why I'm not wearing a fuzzy sweater. Going on a mid-fall hike, looking over a cityscape that has pops of color, such as Portland, that does fall right, or just going on a walk through your neighborhood and collecting fall leaves is one of my favorite things. Just because the sun is gone and the sky is overcast, go outside. It's still really freaking beautiful out there. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend reading. Maybe one of the fantastic books I recommended you. I love reading specifically in fall. I feel like I get so much more done in the fall than I do in the summer. Summer, I'm outside, I'm active, and then fall comes and I still go indoors a little bit more than I normally would. I think that reading inside is another fantastic way to spend your fall. Another thing I really enjoy doing inside is candle making. I am by no means a candle making expert. I am witchy, but I'm not as crafty. I do really enjoy making candles, but it's mostly through recycling old candles or adding new scents to candles that did not previously have a scent. I have a video that's kind of old, but definitely fits this vibe that I will list up above, and it's just me making the easiest candles I possibly can, and it's just a fun activity. If you have essential oils in your house, it's made all the more fun by adding super cool scents, and there's so many different ways to make candles and just going for it because it's fun and easy. Then finally, the last thing I like to do inside is bake and make food and drinks that taste like autumn. I most recently made a Mabon cider, which is a mixture of a red wine and an apple cider, a pinch of spices, and an orange. It smelled like fall in my house for days after making my Mabon cider. cider. So I will go ahead and link my vlog up above or down below. I would love to know what your favorite food or drink is, so go ahead and give me that anime recommendation. But if you don't have an anime recommendation for me, give me your favorite fall food item. I could definitely use more recommendations. I have my go-to favorites, but I'd like to know yours. And with that, that is the end of my fall favorites video. I don't know how this turned out or if we'll have to film it again, which sounds like an exhausting process because this took a long time. But I hope you are enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are. And until next time, bye! Is that a saw? Of course it's a saw. Let that add to the fall vibes. A nice buzz saw in the middle of the forest has never been not autumnal. We're gonna go with that. Please don't be a serial killer. Please don't be a serial killer. It's either a deer or a squirrel. I keep flinching, but they're squirrels. Oh yeah, I'm okay. Thank you for checking on me. Love you. Great, that's good. That's reassuring. I thought that squirrel was gonna kill me earlier. And I would... God, what is wrong with that bird? And I would... He's part of nature. I am one with nature. He is part of nature. He's just a bird. I don't hate him. I kind of hate him though. I should not be mad at that crow. I'm literally in his house. Like, what am I thinking? Oh, I forgot Noah's name for half a second and I'm so sorry, Noah. A leaf blower? They're just gonna keep falling. It's fall. What is this lighting? Okay, this is almost the perfect spot, but there's a root that's just root canaling right. You know what I'm saying.